Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom also to the One-Dirt Israelites. Today we will read the book of Maccabees, chapter 15. The first book of Maccabees, chapter 15. Okay. Let me fix it a little bit. I want the camera a little bit more on that building. Yeah, perfect. So it's a little hot, you know, here in Germany, in Thiemen. It's also very, very hot, just like in America right now, where the most of the protests is scattered to. So you better believe E is using this to bring this climate thing, right? And if he brings that climate thing, guess what? He can come with all kind of stuff like, oh, we have to do another lockdown right now, or we have to do certain things at the market and things like that, you know. Basically just a lot of stuff that comes with a so-called climate change, okay? Which we don't even say that necessarily, that necessarily it's not harder than last year. You see it clearly that it's harder than last year, okay? But it's not like they can change that. It's not like they can do something. About that. But they really do nothing about that because they want it that way, okay? So really, they're just using this climate change thing to bring some more restrictions and regulations on the society and to push their NWO, I mean, okay? You had this thing called C19. We had this thing called C19, which was a forerunner to test how the people's reaction would be in bad situations, horrible situations like that. Because think about the fact that you had teenagers or basically of all ages, people killing themselves over a lockdown, okay? Not definitely from this, everybody from these heathens is down with what they're doing, okay? Because you would think, oh, you know, they think the government is all, you know, only doing good and I have to endure that and, you know, it will change somewhere. But really, they knew already this is the beginning of something, okay? Really these heathens, many of them know that this C19 was the beginning of something, okay? And guess what it is, okay? It is the truth. Yeah, let me read Isaiah chapter 66 today before we start at 1.Maccabees chapter 15. Okay, and we will start at chapter 66 verse 1. Thus said the Lord, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye built unto me, and where is the place of my rest? For all those things had mine hand made, and all those things have been, said the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is pure and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. Can't, because we don't came in the truth because of a C-19 lockdown. Now I have nothing to do, so maybe I just buy myself a Bible. Can be that somebody found the truth through these things. Okay, maybe it was a sign for him, but really nothing is a sign for anybody. If Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai wants you in the truth, you better believe that you are in the truth from that point on. Okay, you can just walk down the street here, on the highway and byway, thinking of whatever. All of a sudden comes to your mind that you should click again on this one YouTube video that you clicked on it because of the title, but then you saw that this is this GMS people and you clicked away, right? So now, Yahweh Ba'Hashem says, okay, I want this. I want this man or woman in the truth, so what I do, now when I'm at home, I click again on this channel that I accidentally found, because of course it was this group, but now I see what they're really talking about. Okay? Now he's in a lockdown, C-19 lockdown. Okay? Because of a sickness that he doesn't know of. Has to really know of, because you're not really in risk. Okay? Not the high risk that they wanted to proclaim. Okay, just like it's over now. If it really would have been that heavy, okay, it wouldn't be over now. Okay, because these Jews, what they handed out. You have scientists coming all over the place out talking about this is not really what helps you with that problem. Okay? It makes you even sick. Verse 3, he that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man, he that sacrificed a lamb as he would cut off a dog's neck, he that offered an oblation as if he offered swine's blood, he that burnt incense as if he blessed an idol. They have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighted in their abominations. I also will choose the delusions, and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that which I delighted in. Can't. Basically, you have these people fearing, will there be a second lockdown? A second big lockdown, because there were many lockdowns for that C-19. But what they really fear is a lockdown because of something, for example, like climate change or all these things. They fear that a lockdown will come, okay, on that matter also. They fear that that nuclear weapons will be used to delete the masses of the people, which is really a good thing. Okay. Of course, we have the Satanists talking about we want to reduce the population and things like that. Okay, but really, the scripture talks about the world now is for many, but the world in the future is for a few. So you have to keep in mind, of course, that if anybody talks something that has some truth to it, okay, then the part with the truth is always from the scriptures, okay? You can't say anything that is actually the truth, okay, without the scripture talking also about it, okay? It doesn't have even to mention it. But I'll give you an example. The Bible talks about ancient Egypt, you know, what people they were, how they lived, what their culture was, that the Hebrew Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos and Indians were slaves, so-called in Egypt. And guess what? The history has proof, okay, that the ancient Egyptians had this kind of culture, had this kind of people in their land being slaves. Okay. So it's everything is proven, okay, and you can prove anything that is in the Bible. Okay, you can prove anything that is in the Bible. Salachia. It's really hot, kind of like heavy hot, man. Okay, undescribable. So let's continue. Verse 4: I also will choose the delusions, Salachia, and will bring their fears upon them. Just like I said, when you have the MOTB, okay, when you have the MOTB being established, people fear that the sayings of the Bible are true, the prophecies, and that they will receive heavy pain and plagues, because of them taking it. And the strange answer to that is, for these people strange, because the scripture talks about the strangeness of his salvation. So basically everything that is normal to us, because we're having this knowledge of the Bible, is kind of like strange to them. So guess what? The answer, if this all these sayings, prophecies and plagues and so on will come if they take the MOTB, okay, the answer is yes. But you actually even an advantage when it comes to these things specifically, because you have it already written down. Okay, many things that will cause people to die, many things that will cause different tribulations for all the people, also the 2/3 of Israel. Okay, many of these things are not written. Just talks about in a general way that these things will come, but what exactly happens, you don't know. Okay, it's just like you have a diagnosis, or you have a doctor saying to you, or you know it for yourself, that you have cancer and you will die of that cancer in exactly about 2 years or 1 year, even with therapy, right? So this is a thing, you know, okay? But a car accident that happens tomorrow is something that you don't know. Just that you have an example what I mean with this. So that's just, when it comes to the plagues, the correct answer to all of that. Because you can see that plagues will eventually get you if you take the MOTB. You will see the outcome of that already. So Lachia, I was just asking if I can stay here, because you had already the police showing up, but at least I got an, so to speak, contract now that I can speak here without any problems. Okay. I know from Switzerland that in Switzerland you can't just stay somewhere reading the Bible, but that's of course Switzerland. Yeah, we was at Isaiah 66. Verse 4. I will also choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer, when I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. Okay, an example of that would be if you choose to be wicked and evil, if you choose to hinder the truth coming out, if you choose to if you choose to not turn to the Lord, okay, that all is being wicked and being somebody who is comforted to this world, which we are not comforted to this world, but comforted to Yahweh Bar Hashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 5, hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at this word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said the Lord, be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple. A voice of the Lord that rendered recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who had heard such a thing? Who had seen such things? Salachia, shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the bird, and not cause to bring forth, said the Lord? Shall I cause to bring forth, and shut the womb, said the Lord? Rejoice with Jerusalem, rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her. All ye that love her, rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her. That ye may suck and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus said the Lord, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, he shall be borne upon her sides, and be dangled upon her knees, as one whom his mother comforted, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. You see, so our comfort is not in this world; it's more of course more, but actually all our comfort should lay in Jerusalem, but not this Jerusalem now, but the next Jerusalem. You see, so comfort has also to do with trusting in something, trusting in someone, trusting in a way how you live, okay, trusting in a way where you think it's worth to live that way, okay. So what we're trusting in is that Jerusalem will be made perfect again. Because now you have Jerusalem not even being really not in possession of anybody. You know, the worldly Jerusalem, if you will. But you have the Iranians, which is Persia, and the Amalekites fighting over it, okay? Or so to speak. So you have Ishmael and E fighting over that place, which was the real place where Israel once dwelt, okay? Basically the real Jerusalem was there. I have to switch the camera because now the sun is in another place and my mobile phone or my camera will be going out again because of the high temperatures. This is crazy, man. The temperatures are so high that you can't even film yourself without your phone basically going out after, I believe it was 15 minutes, and my phone went out, okay? So the temperatures are really high and really going on your spirit also, okay? Where you think, of course, something has changed, but you don't really know how far this will go, okay? Somebody said today it will get colder again soon. But yeah, this is the time we're in right now, okay? Many things changed. It's not just the temperatures. But think about it. You living in America or in Germany, and you think that you're in Africa somewhere. So let's continue at this Maccabees. Chapter 15. Moreover, Antiochus, son of Demetrius the king, sent letters from the isles of the sea unto Simon the priest and prince of the Jews, and to all the people. The contents whereof were these: King Antiochus, to Simon the high priest and prince of his nation, and to the people of the Jews, greeting. For as much as certain pestilent men have oppressed the kingdom of our fathers, and my purpose is to challenge it again, that I may restore it to the old estate, and to that end have gathered a multitude of foreign soldiers together, and prepared ships of war. My meaning also being to go to the country, that I may be avenged of them that have destroyed it, and made many cities in the kingdom desolate. Now therefore I confirm unto thee all the oblations which the kings before me granted thee, and whatsoever gifts besides they granted. I give thee leave also to coin money for thy country with thine own stamp, and as concerning Jerusalem and the sanctuary, let them be free, and all the armor that thou hast made, and fortress that thou hast built, and keepest in thine hands, let them remain unto thee. And if anything be or shall be owing to the king, let it be forgiven thee from this time forth forevermore. Furthermore, when we have obtained our kingdom, we will honor thee, and thy nation, and thy temple with great honor, so that your honor shall be known throughout the world. In the 140th year went Antiochus into the land of his fathers, at which time all the forces came together unto him, so that few were left with Tryphon. Wherefore, being pursued by King Antiochus, he fled unto Dora, which lieth by the sea side. For he said that troubles came upon him all at once, and that his forces had forsaken him. Then camped Antiochus against Dora, having him 120,000 men of war and 8,000 horsemen. And when he had compassed the city round about, and joined ships close to the town of the seaside, he vexed the city by land and by sea, neither suffered he any to go out or in. In the mean season came Numenius and his company from Rome, having letters to the kings and countries, wherein were written these things: Lucius, consul of the Romans, unto King Ptolemy, greeting. The Jews, ambassadors, our friends and confederates. Just waiting a little bit. Confederates. Came unto us to renew the old friendship and league, being sent from Simon the high priest and from the people of the Jews. And they brought a shield of gold of 1,000 pounds. We thought it good therefore to write unto the kings and countries, that they should do them no harm, nor fight against them, their cities or countries. nor yet aid their enemies against them. It seemed also good to us to receive the shield of them. If therefore there be any pestilent fellows that have fled from their country unto you, deliver them unto Simon the high priest, that he may punish them according to their own law. The same things wrote he likewise unto Demetrius the king, and Attalus, to Areopagus and Arsocus, and to all the cities and Samsanes and the Lacedaemonians. And to Delos and Mindus and Scipion and Caria and Samos and Pamphylia and Lycia and Halicarnassus and Rhodus and Pasilis and Cos and Side and Arpados and Gortina and Cnidus and Cyprus and Cyrene. And the copy thereof they wrote to Simon the high priest. So Antioch the king camped against Dower the second day, assaulting it continually and making engines, which means he shut up Tryphon, that he could neither go out nor in. At that time Simon sent him 2,000 chosen men to aid him, silver also and gold and much armor. Nevertheless he would not receive them, but brake all the covenants which he had made with him afore, and became strange unto him. Furthermore he sent unto him Athenobius, one of his friends, to commune with him, and say, Ye with all Joppe and Gazawa, with the tower that is in Jerusalem, which are cities of my wine. The borders thereof ye have wasted, and done great hurt in the land, and got the dominion of many places within my kingdom. Now therefore verse 30, deliver the cities which ye have taken, and the tributes of the places whereof ye have gotten dominion without the borders of Judea. Or else give me for them 500 talents of silver, and for the harm that ye have done, and the tributes of the cities, other 500 talents. If not, we will come and fight against you. So Athenobius, the king friend, came to Jerusalem, and when he saw the glory of Simon, and his cupboard of gold and silver plate, and his great attendance, he was astonished, and told him the king's message. Then answered Simon and said unto him, We have neither taken other men's land, nor holden that which pertaineth to others, but the inheritance of our fathers, which our enemies had wrongfully in possession at a certain time. Wherefore we, having opportunity, hold the inheritance of our fathers, and whereas thou demandest Joppe and Gazawa, albeit they did great harm unto the people in our country, yet will we give 100 talents for them. Hereunto Athenobius answered him not a word, but returned in rage to the king, and made report unto him in these speeches, and of the glory of Simon, and all of all that he had seen, whereupon the king was exceeding wroth. In the meantime fled Tryphon by ship unto Orthosias the king. Then the king made Zambedois captain of the sea coast, and gave him an host of footmen and horsemen, and commanded him to remove his host toward Judea. Also, verse 39 again, and commanded him to remove his host toward Judea. Also he commanded him to build up Cedron, and to fortify the gates, and to war against the people. But as for the king himself, he pursued Tryphon. So Zambedois came to Jamnia, and began to provoke the people. And to invade Judea and to take the people prisoners and slay them. And when he had built up Cedron, he set horsemen there and an host of footmen, the end that issuing out they might make outwards upon the ways of Judea as the king had commanded him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to keep in mind if you read this, okay, that not everybody from the heathens is the same, you know. You have also like our people being actually more wicked in most cases, just like the scripture says, okay. They have even exceeded the wicked himself in wickedness in much cases. So you have Jake actually being more wicked than the wicked himself oftentimes. Okay, so they're pushing it even further. Okay, they expand the wickedness that E of course creates, but he is kind of like expanding that to where you think where did Jake got it from? Of course he got the source from E, you know, how to do this and that wicked stuff, but really they come with new things, man. Okay, just like I gave you an example last time about wickedness in general. You have Jake being a specific level of wickedness, man. You have Jake being in the music industry. Okay, talking about who is Yahweh eating I don't know what it was, but it was a dead or a living mouse. You put that, and I don't say, you know, S-H-A-T, but it's a living creature, or it was not living anymore. I don't know it for sure. I have to watch it again. But actually I don't like to watch that. It's just, first of all, it's nonsense. Second of all, it's unclean. And the third reason is it's actually really, nasty and Yeah, and he eats that mouse, man. He puts that mouse in his mouth, eating that SHIT, you know. You really have to be on some specific kind of drugs to do something like that, man. Or you have a hate that is unmeasurable against Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. If you do something in front of the camera like this, just to show that you want to, you just want to show that you're wicked. So you're doing this in front of the camera, acting like you are, you are some dude that is over Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, basically Yahweh Shai, you know. And often they actually come with that stuff, you know. They try to be, how can we be more disgusting, basically, you know. How can we be more wicked? For example, if you this animal sex thing in the Netherlands, okay, that is really a disgusting thing. You see, you have the law talking about it's confusion to sleep with animals, right? And it's not just wicked because it's confusion, you know. If you I don't know, I was reading something about a woman was pregnant, I believe even from a horse or something, but from a horse, but of course it's confusion in the first place, but also it's disgusting, right? Not specifically a horse, but there are animals that are actually really working their day really dirty, so to speak, or really nasty, really disgusting, basically, or animals that are toxic also. Okay. So I really don't understand if there's a reason you would like to have sex with a what is it? Yeah, with a horse, for example, So here in Germany it's not allowed to have sex with animals. In the Netherlands you have certain addresses where you can go to, and you can do that over there, so to speak, So another reason would be you have to give, which, Jake is of course not directly, how can I say that? The scripture says you are gods, right? But you have to, or a god that is still in a human estate or in a human shape, you have to give that human certain regulations and guidelines, okay? Because if you don't do so, eventually you will have no positive outcome of their behavior, of their behavior, Suddenly the next day you will have anybody, okay, trying to have sex with their pet because you give them no guidelines, you give them no no regulations where they can, for example, okay, where they can basically protect themselves from certain diseases. Okay, you have certain diseases basically coming out just because of certain things that are not according to the law. For example, like I said, if you have sex with certain animals, this will cause different kind of diseases, which first has to be figured out what exactly they are. And I bet most of these sicknesses and diseases are not even, the science on these things is not so big, because in most, for what I know, in Europe, I just talk for Europe, but for what I believe is that in most countries here in Europe it's not allowed to have sex with animals. You can put it in the comment board, but at least, or basically I can only talk for Germany, but that's not a bad law, okay? And one thing that one effect that it has is that you can protect the people from certain diseases. So you don't have to do science on these things, or experiments on these things. What would happen, if and things like that. You have all these animals, that have their own diseases basically, okay, already. And you don't need to do science on that, you don't have to do experiments on that, what would happen with this and that animal, with the human, and things like that, because it's not necessary. Because you can give the people those regulations. They can do that if they want. They can study that, Oh, is this really a good thing? And why is it allowed? Why it is not allowed? And they will maybe come to the conclusion that it's a good law from the beginning. Okay. Yeah, you can talk in general about the law, that everything in it has a reason, For example, if there are laws about what happens if I believe it was about two men fighting over something, and you have one pregnant woman standing there watching, and then one man hits the woman on her belly accidentally or something like that, okay, then there are certain laws how to deal with a situation like that, okay. So every law, of course, has its perfect outcome, if you will, okay? Because if you give these laws to a nation, which obviously happened, okay, to one nation only, which is Israel, then eventually all the people will profit from that at one point. But first, of course, the nation that you give the law to will first and foremost profit from it, you see. But with that, all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of goodness.